Welcome to From the Trainers Tower for another week, and this week it's VOBIS time. Well, it's showdown time. $1 million VOBIS Showdown is on. Headlines a day of over $3 million in prize money for the Victorian bred horses. We're going to go through, well, everything from track work this morning on a number of the runners for Saturday. Pleasure as always to be joined by my great man, Ed Sadler. Good to have you here, mate.
It's good to have you back, Sam. We missed you last week. How are you?
I'm all right. I've been bouncing a little bit. I saw we had the great man Terry Bailey sit there and parry with you for a little bit. You would have enjoyed the break.
I enjoyed having a chat with Terry, but it's nice to have you back. And great rewards for the Victorian owners and breeders for racing on Saturday. Very much looking forward to that program. You touch on the Showdown, but also the Peter Young, which has always been that vital lead-up race towards the Australian Cup. Things are a little bit different these days when you've got the Australian Cup at the end of the carnival, but the All-Star Mile now leads into it, as does the Peter Young. So I'll be excited about Saturday's racing, and we'll learn a bit more from it.
Yeah, I think there's a horse that looks a certainty, to be honest, but we'll talk about that soon. Now, Andrew Eddy, he was out at Caulfield this morning. He had a chat to Jye McNeil, who rides Buckaroo in that race.
Jye McNeil, you partnered Buckaroo this morning at Caulfield after a small setback last week. How did you feel?
Yeah, he felt amazing this morning. We did a 5-home 2, and he towed me throughout his work really nicely. He was sharp, and he seems in great order.
That little setback, he had a little bit of mucus last week. Just a couple of days to get over that, was it?
Yeah, I believe so. He seemed totally fine for me this morning, and you know, he was very free in his action. He pulled up fantastic after his gallop, so there's no indication of anything wrong at this stage.
You've partnered him a couple of times, but you get the chance on Saturday. It's a good race, a Group 2 race, and he looks like he's going well, so he must be pretty excited. Yeah,
great to be able to get the opportunity on him second up, and the rise in distance to 1,800 metres is going to be right up his alley. He seems to love it here at Caulfield, so I'm pretty excited to get the opportunity once again, and the feel he gave me this morning is he's going to be in the mix.
It's a pretty underrated horse, really. You look at his record, especially here in Melbourne, it's outstanding.
Yeah, his record, it really speaks for itself. The way Chris and the team have got him going at the moment is really good, and you know, hopefully we can go one better than he did first up.
Good to hear Jye, very happy with that. Just went out 5, home 2, and in some nice work. Last time I went out 5 and got home 2, my wife was not happy. So that was, so unfortunately there, but Buckaroo looks awaited certainty, doesn't it?
I don't think she'll be that happy with you the next time you do it either, Sam. But as far as Buckaroo is concerned, he's a top quality weight for age, middle distance horse. We saw his run on the futurity there. It was very, very good. Missed the All-Star Mile. He's back on Saturday, so he's had just a minor setback, nothing to be too alarmed about. 1,800 at Caulfield. He's won a Group 1, the Underwood, over this. So, yeah, it is exactly the right race for him.
It looked like it was a set-up race last year for Jenny. I think he's going to be the similar style here as well. Now, Kieran Maher, well, it wouldn't be a Saturday in Melbourne without a big team. Andrew Eddy chatted to him about all the runners this week.
Light Infantryman, he's come through his first up run in great order. He's feeling well and doing everything right. And Ethan Browne suspended, Mark Zara suspended. So, yeah, I was talking to Jamie Spencer. I've got to confirm that, but he knows the horse quite well. He rode him out here in the Golden Rose and a lot of Group 1 races in Europe, so it'd be good if he came out, but we'll firm that up. But he is a quirky horse as well. Ethan obviously gets on with him very well, but yeah, it looks a nice race for him, weight for age and 1,800.
Okay, Holy Mans might join him in the race?
He could. Holy Mans racing great, just very genuine, very consistent. We'll have a look at the noms, but he galloped yesterday and seems quite bright and well.
Okay, your chances also, Milsom's Point will go for the $1 million race, the Showdown. How's he shaping?
Yeah, 2 runs but prior to the Blue Diamond were very good. Blue Diamond didn't go to plan, but yeah, he worked well yesterday. And if works get anything to go by, he should run back to form, and that should hold him in pretty good stead for Saturday.
And Salty Pearl, we might see her again in the Guineas this week?
Yeah, we backed her up last prep and she was able to win at the Valley. So, yeah, it just looks a nice race for her. And we know she'll back up. We do have the blinkers up our sleeve as well. We popped them on last time, and she hit the mark. So come through a run well. I think she's still on the up.
Going to be interesting to see if Jamie Spencer does get out here. What's your take?
I'd imagine he would. He knows the horse well from a clashing commitments point of view. I wouldn't have thought there's much on in the Northern Hemisphere that would prevent him from coming here. It's a nice time of year to be in Melbourne, Sam. He's got some good friends in this part of the world. He did spend a bit of time here in the 2023 Spring Carnival, coming second in the Cox Plate, or the Caulfield Cup, I should say, with West Wind Blows. So he's no stranger to Australian racing.
And it's nice little holidays, a nice little working holiday. Time for a break now on Racing.com. Don't go anywhere. You're watching from the Trainers Tower. Welcome back to From the Trainers Tower. Well, Birdman was a really good winner last time out in the Blame. He's headed to the Peter Young, and Benny Melham rode him this morning at track work.
Ben Melham, you've ridden Birdman out here at Caulfield this morning in a gallop before Saturday's Peter Young Stakes. What'd you make of him?
Yeah, he was really good. He just rolled around. He got around the track lovely. Had his ears pricked the whole way around. He wasn't out to sort of break any records, but he seems to have come through his run really well. Galloped well, and expecting to run well again Saturday.
We're sort of seeing a new version of this horse this campaign when he's going over the shorter trips. I think he made his debut over 1.5 miles in Ireland. What do you make of him over these shorter trips?
Yeah, well, he's shown that he can run well fresh early on in his campaign at the shorter trips. So I think it's more, the horse is just acclimatised now, and it's just taking him probably a little while to settle in, and we're really starting to see the best of him now. I feel he's sort of gone to a new level this preparation, and I feel he will continue on that sort of upward trajectory. As I said, he's just a happy horse, and just really seems to have fitted in here now, and his performances have sort of backed that up.
It's a sort of a fork in the road almost race for him, because there's a Sydney Cup. Maybe he hasn't had the campaign for that, but there's so many races ahead of him that he could go to.
Oh, no doubt. I'm not entirely sure of what Chris has got planned for him, but I did have a chat to Ozzy the other day, and obviously he was really happy with the way the horse has come back. He's versatile because he can run well at them shorter trips with a bit of speed in his legs, and he's obviously got good staying potential as well. So it's probably one for them to work out, I suppose, what direction they want to head in. But, as far as I'm concerned with the horse, he's just in a really good headspace at the minute and going really well.
We've got a chance of a good prize on Saturday too with the $1 million showdown. You're riding Milsom's Point for Godolphin. They're going okay too.
Yeah, that don't go too bad, and neither does the trainer. So, look, he's a horse with really nice ability, I feel, and he finds himself in a winnable race on Saturday with some good prize money down, with that $1 million incentive. So, yeah, really happy to pick up the ride on him, and I'm sure he'll make his presence felt.
Okay, of course we saw you win the Blue Diamond the other day on Streisand. What's the mail on her as she's gone up to Sydney to get ready for the slipper?
Yeah, she's still down here at the minute. I'll gallop her in the morning. She had a couple of gallops Sydney way in preparation. Clinton's sort of elected not to trial her or run her again up there. So I hope that works. But anyway, I think she seems to have pulled up really well, and we'll know more tomorrow. But lovely filly. It was great. Obviously great to win the Diamond, and I think barrier draws are obviously very important up there, so hopefully we can draw well, and I'm sure she'll acquit herself really well.
What do you make of the 2-year-old scene? She's one of the leading prospects.
Well, yeah, there's been some good form come out from behind her, and probably some of the more impressive 2-year-old winners in Sydney have got similar form to her or have been beaten behind her. So, you certainly can't fault winning form, and you can't fault the progression that horses have made out of the race behind her. So, I'm really happy with her, and I sort of wouldn't swap her for anything else in the race.
Certainly wouldn't want to swap her, would you? I think the Victorians have got a pretty good hold up there on that slipper as well. Still happy to be in their corner, and there's an owner who looks like he's got a pretty good hold on the Peter Young too.
Certainly does, does he, Care? And his fellow owners, when it comes to the Peter Young, Buckaroo, Light Infantryman and Birdman, who we just heard about there, the three horses we've touched on already on the show, all racing in the same colours. So might not be the easiest race for Matt Hill, but it'll be an easy watch for Aussie.
Yeah, I don't think they have to watch too hard. I think they were through pretty good chances. Like I said, Buckaroo looks the weighted, the genuine weight for Raceday. So good. Maybe hasn't won the races that probably would elevate him to that absolute top line of it. Geez, he's thereabouts, and he's been running well earlier in the preps lately as well. Now you've done some work as well. It's all been Andrew Eddy so far, but
it's about time I chipped in with something, isn't it?
I reckon we're about to hear from you, aren't we? You went out to Flemington this morning, chatted to the Corstens team about their runners on Saturday.
Troy, looking ahead to the weekend, Purple Streak, that was impressive on debut.
He was great first up. He's come through that really well and had a tick-over trial as well, Edward. Very happy with him, and I think it's going to be a really nice race for him.
Were you happy with his jump out?
Yeah, it was super. He trialled against the older horses. Unfortunately, Benny Allen's suspended, but Jamie Melham goes on, and I'm sure that she'll do a very good job on him.
How much upside has this horse got?
A lot. Yeah, a lot. So I'm very, it's a big jump to go from a maiden into to $100,000 race, but I think that he can make the progression.
So if he does, what sort of longer-term aspirations have you got with him, Troy?
It's his first preparation, first real preparation, racing preparation, so we'll just see how he comes through. But, it possibly could look at something up in Brisbane.
Harry's Yacht, this horse is also flying for the stable.
He's going great. He's probably not far off needing a little bit of a break, so we might run him in the Socibon on Saturday and then possibly look for a little break before he might go up to Brisbane as well.
Okay, how's he been since that last start win?
Yeah, really good. He's been up at the farm, which we do with Harry. He enjoys that part of it. So he's come back and he is ready to go Saturday.
He's a pretty honest customer.
He's done a great job. He's had a really good preparation. He's still doing a few things wrong. He's not the easiest horse in the world. He can over-race a little bit, and he likes things to go his way. But when he does get it right, he gets it right nicely.
Missy Aggravation, she's had a little trip to Tassie.
She did a really good job placing down there in the Tassie Oaks, which was nice, and coming back. So the 1600 is probably going to be a little bit too short for her, but we are trying to get her to either. We just got to see where she's positioned. Whether we go to a Sydney Oaks, which I'm not sure she's quite ready for, maybe an Adelaide or a Brisbane as well.
And Betwitchery obviously has come through that winner Pakenham pretty well, considering the quick turnaround you're looking at.
Yeah, really good. She's happy. Just waiting for, there was extended nominations in that, so we'll wait and see what's in it. But it does look a nice race for her to have a little bit of a crack at. I think she'll be down in the weights. She's going particularly well at the moment, so as long as she's okay, she'll probably take her place as well.
And it was a good day for the stable on Saturday with Verdú winning, but we didn't get to see Baraqiel. What's the latest with him, Troy?
He's really well. He had a stretch of the legs this morning and bounced off the track. So he had a course of antibiotics last week, and it was probably just a 24-hour virus, a little bug. But luckily we picked it up. If we hadn't picked it up and gone to the races, we might have been in a bit of strife.
So when does he run now?
He'll have a trial on Friday, and all being well, we're full steam ahead to the William Reid.
Well, just before race day, we lost a couple of good runners on the weekend, didn't we? But both look well and both look to have plenty ahead. How good are the Corstens team going at the moment?
Airborne. Yep, they're saddling up winners left, right and centre, and they'll be happy to go back to Caulfield. The last time they were there was Blue Diamond Day. They took 3 runners. They had 3 winners. So It's been a happy hunting ground for them of late.
Geez, Verdú's going well too. That horse just keeps stepping up as well. Time for another break now on Racing.com. Don't go anywhere. You're watching From the Trainer's Tower. Welcome back to From the Trainer's Tower. Well, this time last year, the Browne team, Emily and David, well, they were winning the showdown with McGaw. This year, they've got Lomu in as well. It's going to be a big weekend for them, and Andrew Eddy caught up with them this morning at Caulfield.
Emily Browne, you won the $1 million showdown last year with McGaw, of course. Giving another run this year, I think, are you?
Well, hopefully. I thought his work out there was really, really good. He was very professional. He can be a little bit relaxed about things. Jye sort of commented about that. But when the other horse went up, he gets a bit competitive. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a throw at it. But he's trialled up good, and I think this time of year with 2-year-old racing, any race you go to, you sort of come up against a horse that's won or things like that. So, yeah, we thought, well, if he comes through it all good, which he seems to be very relaxed about it so far, yeah, it's definitely an idea. A lot of the people that were in McGaw are in this horse as well. So, yeah, it'd be very nice if we could, at least be here again, but try and give it a bit of a nudge as well.
And only a cheapie too, like McGaw, only $10,000 as well.
Yes. So I think they got a bit more expensive, the Iron Immortals, this year, which is probably McGaw's fault. But yeah, we luckily our first two were pretty good buys. But I really rate the stallion. I think he's very, very good. A lot of the horses we've got by Iron Immortal can really gallop, and they've showed something. So I think he's a good sire going forward.
McGaw's one of the ones that have really shown that in the past, with his Danehill win in the spring. What did you make of his first up run at Flemington?
Oh, we were very disappointed. We were expecting a much stronger showing than that. Probably on the good side of things, he came back and threw up a bit of a bad blood. He's had a bit of a virus, so you like to sort of have an excuse afterwards. Yeah, on the day we were a bit down in the dumps, but yeah, knowing that he had that, we've sort of treated him now. We brought him here today to sort of make sure that he's bouncing out of his skin, which he was. He's a funny track worker. By himself, he looks around and doesn't do much, and in company he might do a little bit too much. So yeah, we know him quite well now, so I'm very happy with his work as well.
Okay, and what's the plan for him?
He has been nominated for 2 races this coming weekend. Obviously, though, with his Danehill win, he's probably, the weights aren't out yet, but it's not looking great. Very well weighted in the VOBIS Gold Dash, so the other races there, which is obviously quite strong. So we'll sort of have a look at that, see how he comes through this. Just make sure he's fully over the virus. There's also the option to sort of go straight into race at Flemington towards the end of the month, which, if we need to take a bit of time, we'll do that.
Okay, and your Andrew Ramsden winner from last year, she's getting ready. Basilina, will we see her on Saturday?
No, she probably... well, I don't know. She's just trialling as we speak, so she's having a nice little light trial. So, yeah, I've been waiting in anticipation to see how she's gone, but we were wrapped with her first trial. I think that's probably the most oomph she's ever shown in a trial. So, yeah, really, really pleased to have her back, and she's jumping out of her skin. So, quite a few options for her going forward. And obviously she likes a little bit of cut in the ground too. So, yeah, just excited to have her back.
Interesting, Andrew. Just chatting to her while the horse was trialling. Anyway, Emma, horse looks like it ran 3rd. Solid jump out. So, very nice. McGaw, Lomu. Now, we all know that McGaw was supposed to be named McCaw, don't we, after the rugby man. So, I think they enjoy their rugby, the Kiwis.
They do indeed. They've got a good team, haven't they, with the All Blacks. And Lomu, of course, one of the greatest All Blacks of all time. Makes his debut in the race. Not going to be an easy race, but it's the old cliche. They're only 2 once. $1 million up for grabs, why not? Have a throw at the stumps with him. McGaw would clearly need to improve, but has got the ability to do so. It doesn't sound like he's a certain starter. Yeah,
we beat My Gladiola and Tentyrus in a Danehill, so there's no doubt the ability's there at all. And both of them cheap horses, 14k and 10k. And Lomu was looking huge walking around the mounting yard as well for a 2-year-old. Plenty of size there. That's why they look like they've named it Lomu. Now, the McEvoy team, they've got plenty of runners on Saturday as well. Another one that Andrew Eddy caught up with.
Kelvin, looking ahead to the weekend, Neil's back, won a 2-horse race at Bendigo last spring. How's he returned this time around?
Yeah, Eddie's back. He's trialled up really nicely. He's a Godolphin-bred 2-year-old gelding who's obviously a winner. So we thought we'd have a go at the big prize money, support VOBIS, and I think he's prepped up really nicely. 1,200 first up. Will be the little query. He's quite a sharp horse, but with the $1 million on offer, we're certainly keen to have a go.
What would be a pass mark for him, Kelvin, given what you're saying about him, that it might be a bit not quite the right trip for him?
Well, look, I think he's a 1,200 metre horse in time, but he's trialled up very fresh and a little bit fierce, and probably if we were going to a lower race, we'd be kicking him off over 1,000 or 11. I think he probably is a 1,200 metre horse when he gets deep into his prep. But as I said, we're very keen and comfortable to have a go, and I think he's pretty well educated, and he'll certainly run okay.
Bill's her sister, she's coming off a maiden win. Is she a progressive type?
She is, yeah, certainly is. She's probably a filly that's going to love getting out to 2,000 metres and beyond, I reckon. We've kept her fresh from the maiden. She was dominant in that display, and thought we'd target this race. So she's had a jump out in between. I thought she jumped out beautifully for a bit of maintenance work, and Harry felt that she'd really come on since that race. So she'll go there, she'll run nicely, and look for her to continue improving over a little bit further.
V8, he'd been good in his first couple of runs. What happened in the futurity?
Yeah, very disappointing. Look, he didn't have a lot of luck. We wanted to be positive, and he was sticky out of the machines and then got caught wide. And there was certainly excuses with the run that he had, but probably not enough excuses to forgive how poor he was late. So we were really disappointed. As you said, his first 2 runs for the prep were super. And look, we went to the big level again last start for one more go, but now we've dropped him down. He's in very well at the weights for this race, and he's very fit and well. We just changed him back to Ballarat following his last start as a bit of a change of scenery. He looks very well, and we're hopeful that he can bounce back. He needs to show that he's still wanting to be racing at a good level.
Just while we've got you, Kelvin, the Cup hero, half yours. How's he going?
Yeah, going really well. Couldn't be happy with how he's coming to handhead. He's come up quite quickly. Been in work a little while now. We've just been slowly bringing him up to the mark. Obviously, naturally, very gifted athlete. He gets fit quick, and he's going to have his first jump out next Friday. So really looking forward to it. But all the signs are that he's returned in terrific order.
And the all age is still the planned kick-off for him?
Yeah, the all age is the kick-off point at this stage, and love a bit of rain, which Sydney can get. So we're not kidding ourselves at 1,400 metres and against horses that are going to be coming out of the TJ Smith. It's going to be a very tough assignment for a Melbourne Cup winner returning. But if the ground is in the soft or heavy range, I think that'll bring him right into it. And if he can just be hitting the line strong, that's all we will need to see.
Geez, it's exciting to see half yours back. Just hoping he can really go on. I'd love to see him go back to back.
Absolutely. Yeah, it'll be fascinating to see what weight he gets for this year's Melbourne Cup when those are released in September. 1,400 metres first up in the all-age stakes. It's hard to really see half yours running down Jimmy Starr, but just if he's getting to the line well, heads to Queensland and then the Cox Plate, the Melbourne Cup at this stage, the likely goals for him. Yep.
Looking forward to seeing him back. Also need to apologise to you. I believe I said Andrew Eddie then. That was too many Eds. That was Eddie Sadler. So apologies for that, mate. You did do a couple this week.
Oh, I did.
I said that you didn't pull your weight, but you did as well. Also mentioned V8 as well. He's been a disappointing bit of an enigma lately, hasn't he? I thought he was back, and then that disappointing run last time out was certainly playing for V8 backers.
He's that type of horse, though. This is a big class drop for him. So he might be able to win, find a bit of form, find a bit of confidence and go on with it from here.
Yeah, he's just not quite that Group 1 horse anymore.
Not these days, no, I don't think. Or he's not running up to that level anyway.
No, good tip this weekend, quickly.
Be good to your mother.
Yeah.
Milsom's Point.
Milsom's Point. All right, that's it from us from the Trainer's Tower. Have a great weekend on the punt.